Naša naslednja govorka bo predstavila enega najbolj razširjenih orodij za uporabo umetne inteligence v okviru prepoznave besedil in obdelave zgodovinskih virov Transkribus. Transkribus je tudi sponzor današnjega srečanja. Na povabilo, da lahko dobre prakse uporabe umetne inteligence v vaših institucijah prikažete na posterih, smo prejeli poster Igorja Filipiča iz Nadškofijskega arhiva Maribor. Poster predstavlja pogovornega asistenta v arhivu. Vas pa vabimo, da si ga ogledate med odmorom. Obesili smo ga na vrata, skozi katera greste v čitalnico. Igor naj bi bil z nami danes na spletu. Igor, jaz imam za vas eno obvestilo. Ker ste pripravili poster, ste za Nadškofijski arhiv Maribor pridobili Transkribus licenco v vrednosti 550 evrov. Eno leto bo tako lahko 5 sodelavcev Nadškofijskega arhiva Maribor uporabljalo vse funkcionalnosti licence za skupine. Nagrado podarja današnji sponzor, za kar se jim prav lepo zahvaljujemo. Igor, vam pa iskrene čestitke. Tudi vse ostale vas vabimo, da po dogodku v digitalni obliki pošljete posterje s predstavitvami dobrih praks uporabe umetne inteligence v muzejih, arhivih in knjižnicah. Mogoče še katerega od avtorjev čaka nagrada. Največja nagrada za vse nas pa bo, da bomo imeli na enem mestu zbrane ideje, izkušnje in kontakte, ki nam bodo pomagali rasti in se razvijati skupaj. Sara, many thanks to Transkribus for the award. I believe we've made the poster's author and his institution truly happy with this recognition. I will briefly introduce you in Slovenian and then the floor will be yours. Torej, z nami je Sara Mansutti, vodja dela strankami pri RITKUP, Evropskemu združenju, ki razvija platformo Transkribus. Ima doktorat iz digitalnih humanistik z University College Cork in diplomo iz arhivistike, paleografije in diplomatskih študij Državnega arhiva v Trstu. Vabim vas, da med predavanjem zastavljate vprašanja za našo gostjo. Dear Sara, we are looking forward to hearing from your insights. The stage is yours. Please.
I'm sorry I have to speak English because I don't know Slovenian, even if I live in Udine, which is not that far from here. Today I'm doing a presentation about Transkribus. What can you do with Transkribus? It won't be a real workshop on Transkribus, but just some ideas on how other institutions are using Transkribus, and there will also be some examples from other institutions. But first, what we do at Transkribus, with Transkribus, we want to provide the best tools for making historical data accessible as a cooperative, putting purpose before profit. We are not a big tech company, and I want to tell you a bit the story of Transkribus. Now Transkribus is managed and developed by RITKUP, which is the company I work for, and it isn't a private company, is a European cooperative society, which means that the members, both institutional and private, are co-owners of the cooperative, and all the profit is reinvested into the technology. It started in 2013 with the Transcriptorium project, hosted at the University of Valencia, which is linked to the one that the previous presenter spoke about. And then they got another EU funding, and there were the READ project hosted at the University of Innsbruck. When this EU funding was the Horizon 2020 fund ended, they thought about how to continue developing the technology and maintaining the server, because at that time they were hosted at the University of Innsbruck, but there were many more users also outside of Austria, not just in Austria. So the principal investigator of the project, Günther Mühlberger, decided to create create a European Cooperative Society. So it was founded in 2019, and today there are more than 250 members across 30 countries. And here are some of the members. Around 52% of the members are institutional members and 48 are private members. And here they are all over the countries. Most of them are in Europe because the history of Transkribus is linked to Europe, but there are also some other members outside of Europe. And it's also for us very important, the user community. So we have a very strong user community, and they're not all of them are members. And we really care about that and try to implement as much as possible their input. And now let's go to the hot stuff. I think you know mainly Transkribus for the platform. So probably you have used it. You have tried to upload a document to Transkribus and do the recognition. So how many of you have used Transkribus? Raise your hand. Okay. Not that many, 5, okay. So you will learn a lot of new things. But it isn't just the platform. So the idea is to build an ecosystem. So start from taking the images. Of course, we don't want to replace like digitization companies, but we want to help researchers to take better images that then they can use within Transkribus. Then we have the Transkribus platform, for transcribing training models and work on the models. And finally, the publishing part, which is Transkribus sites, even if a lot of institutions also just take the page XML or the Alto XML from Transkribus and publish the documents into their own platforms. So let's start with this content, which is as the name says, a portable tent with a mold on top. So the idea it stays in a bag. We have an example at the back here. So if you are curious later, you can have a look. And yeah, we are also selling some of there here if you want. And the advantage is that there are no shipping costs. So, but you can also buy them on the website. But it's just cheaper today because there are no shipping costs. And there is a video, so I would just...
Meet the Scan Tent. All you need for professional scanning with your smartphone. With the Scan Tent, we are developing a powerful tool. It eliminates the disadvantages of conventional scanners and makes use of the advantages of your smartphone. The Scan Tent is an innovative approach to scanning. It focuses on providing solid, stable image quality and the highest degree of usability during scanning. A combination of nylon silk fabric and integrated indirect LED lighting produces a professional photo environment. The black baselining gives you a standardized background, which is big enough to accommodate documents up to A3 or tabloid size and facilitates image cropping. It weighs only 500 grams and is fully collapsible and highly portable. It can be used with your smartphone, which is positioned on top. You might say, cool, but how do I operate the smartphone while holding down the document? Here's how. The Scan Tent comes with an app called DocScan. It enables the fast and reliable detection of document pages. You can use the single mode for taking individual images manually, but there's also a serial mode which enables the automated capturing of images. All you need to do is flip the pages. The app can crop pages without hassle, and you can upload your document directly to your own Transkribus collection. This means that the Scan Tent ties in seamlessly with the world's leading open platform for handwritten text recognition, which is used by more than 40,000 people around the globe already. You can train the platform to recognize any kind of writing you like and transform it into normal text.
Okay, now we have more users, more than 300,000 users, because this was quite an old video. But just to give you an idea of what you can do, and then you don't need to upload them to Transkribus. You can also export them on your laptop. Yeah, it's useful if you want to give the researchers a tool to take images in a better way, or like the Bibliothèque Nationale de France, they had forced contents in place, and they say that the advantage is that they don't need to bring the documents to the scanner, but they can bring the contents to the documents. Or even if you just need to scan, 10 pages for a user who is abroad, who lives abroad, you don't need to take the camera, but you can just use your smartphone. So this is the first part of the ecosystem scanning. And then you upload your documents to the Transkribus platform. And the platform is an AI-powered ally designed to simplify your time-consuming and laborious work with historical documents. So it doesn't want to replace the archivists, the historians, the librarians, because also you will see AI needs to be trained and still need the knowledge and the paleographical skills to read those documents. While AI becomes more and more accurate, we need more skills to recognize the errors and know where the AI is hallucinating and where it is transcribing correctly. What does Transkribus make possible? So you can manually or automatically transcribe your documents in Transkribus. You can train AI models and you don't need any coding skills. You can do it with your own computer because the servers are in Innsbruck and all the images are saved in Innsbruck, so in Europe, in a GDPR compliant way. You can collaborate, so you can share material and work with colleagues, students, volunteers, interns. You can search through your documents when they are transcribed. You can tag, for example, names, places, and you can export the documents in various formats, page XML, Alto, TXT, PDF. You can get a searchable PDF, for example. For the text recognition, so here you have an example. This is a catalog of paintings from a museum in a tabular structure. And on one side, you see the image, and on the other, you see the transcription is in Italian. But here you can see the errors. So in this case, we train a custom model for this specific handwriting. I mean, the handwriting is not that difficult. It's very clear. And this is the amount of errors. So in red, you see the words transcribed incorrectly by the AI. Sometimes it's an entire word, sometimes it's just a comma or a letter. And in green, you see the correct transcription. To do that, the technology is called handwritten text recognition, and it converts printed or handwritten text into digital text using existing or custom AI models. It works very similar to OCR. The difference is that while OCR focuses on single characters, handwritten text recognition looks at the entire line. And in this way, it's also capable to read words that are letters with ligatures and to read also handwritten text. But it works also better than OCR on historical printed documents and on historical newspapers. So we have also a lot of projects with, for example, 18th, 19th century newspapers. And what are those models? Models are like manuals telling Transkribus how to transcribe a certain type of writing. We have two approaches. The first is to use public models, which are models that we at ReadCop have trained, or models trained by the community. So there are many users that train models and then they decide to make them public on our platform, so other users can use them. So these are the easiest models that you can use because you just upload your documents and you get the transcription. Or the other approach is to train a custom model. Usually train a custom model when the public ones aren't enough good on their material, or if they have new languages, specific handwritings, or if they want to tailor the models to their needs. For example, they want to keep all the abbreviations while the public model expand them, or vice versa. So if you want a model to make some specific things, you need to train the model for that. It really depends on the needs of the project, of the archive. At the moment, we have more than 300 public models that work both for handwritten and printed material, and they are trained on more than 30 languages. So when you are in Transkribus, and you can also try that without logging in Transkribus, we have on our webpage the list of the models, and you can also upload a page, an image there, and see the results. If you log into Transkribus, if you register and log in, then also your results are saved. Well, if you just use the website, you just see it once, and then you have to export, but it's not saved in your collection. And you can see all the models and filter them by name, language, type of documents, and century. And when you have to decide the models that the model that you want to test, you need to look first at on which type of documents it was trained, because I can have a model trained on 19th century Italian hands, but if I try to use it on a medieval manuscript in Italian, of course it won't work because it hasn't been trained on that. So you need to see if the model was trained on similar documents than yours, and then on how many words the model has been trained. So more words, more the model will be strong, and also the accuracy. So we measure that in terms of character error rate, so CER, and this is amount of incorrectly recognized letters out of 100 characters. So in this case, this model has an accuracy of 95.7% and a character error rate of 4.30%. It means that when the model recognizes documents similar to the ones the model was trained on, it recognized correctly around 95 characters and incorrectly for 5 characters. So this is a very good model. And then we also have supermodels, which use a different technology. So the architecture is different. These are transformer models, are very big and only trained by us. And the advantage is that they can recognize a lot of hands and many different languages at once. Slovenian is not included in the supermodel. I'm sorry. There are, I think, 4 models for Slovenian, one for printed documents and the other for handwritten documents, but they are not that big. So yeah, if you want to train a model and then make it public, we will be very happy. Or you can also work together to train a model. This is something also that many users do. And then we have the custom models that are tailored to your documents. So in your case, if you don't find a model that is good for your documents, you can train your own AI model, and it's not that complex. The more time-consuming part is to create examples to train the AI on. So we need to show examples to the machine to learn to do the same thing that we want it to do. And in the case of our documents, in the case of text recognition models, the examples are images with transcriptions. So, okay, what we need to do, we need to create our training data that is called ground truth in Transkribus. And ground truth is a term that we take from machine learning. But in brief, they are the images paired with an accurate transcription. And this transcription needs to be done inside of Transkribus because Transkribus needs the connection between the line in the image and the line in the text. If you have existing transcription, you can import them to Transkribus, but still you need to check that the correspondence between the lines is correct. Otherwise, the model will learn wrongly. And just so I won't explain you how to train the model in detail, just So you know that you need the ground truth, and then we have the help center. We have webinars on YouTube. We host webinar very regularly. But just to give you some numbers on how many pages of words you need to train a model and what you can get in terms of accuracy. So for printed documents, probably it isn't worth it to train a model because we have a very strong print models for printed documents. But in case you need 5,000 words and you can get a character error rate between 0.5 and 2%. If you have just one single hand in a simple handwriting, you need 10,000 words or around 50 pages, but it depends on how many words there are on each page. And the character error rate can be between 2 and 4%, and so on. So for several hands, you need 10,000 words per hand. And then we have very general models. And in this case, you need a lot of words, more than 100,000 words. And also the character error rate will be a bit higher because it's more complex for the model to deal with various hands at once. But the advantage is that this model can also read the new hands not seen during the training. So if you train the model on a big number of hands, then it also learns to generalize and read hands from the same period, so similar hands, but not seen during the training. And here there are a few examples from project. So this is the Archivverbund Bautzen in Germany. And they have this 257 council minutes book, around 50,000 pages, and they wanted to make them searchable. So they already digitized those documents, but they then understood that it was very difficult for the users to use them because there were the images, but without the transcription. So they decided to use Transkribus. And in this case, they first tested one of our public models, but they say that the quality wasn't enough for their for what they wanted. And then together with us, they train a custom AI model to improve the accuracy. And this is another project. This was much more bigger. So it is with the National Archives of the Netherlands. They are digitizing a lot of their documents. I think they want to digitize in the next year 10% of all their volumes. And in this case, they wanted to use HDR to transcribe 3 million pages. And their expectation at the beginning were very low. So they say that they would have been happy with a 20% character error rate, so an 80% accuracy, which is very low, I would say, but it was a few years ago. And in the end, with 6,000 pages of ground truth, they reach a character error rate of 70%. So they were very happy about that. And also they trained a custom AI model, but this was before the supermodels, because now we also have a supermodel, a Dutch supermodel. So I think that now the supermodel would be the same, as good as their custom model. And then we also work with information extraction. So we have two approaches. One to extract information from forms like this. So if we want to take the name, the place, and the date, for this we use fields models. Fields models can be trained to automatically detect the layout components of the document and label the detected fields with regions and tags. So if you have forms, index cards, you can train a field model. The important thing is that the information are always in the same place on the page because it is based on the position of the information on the page. And some examples are here. You can use them with newspapers, legal forms, index card, court records, scrapbooks, sheets music, and here you have an example. And the advantage of using fields model instead of just doing the simple text recognition is that you know which name or word refers to which type of information, and you can export that in a spreadsheet. So you have the formatted information. And yeah, the two most common use cases are forms and newspapers. And the other approach is get information from tables. So in this case, the information needs to be structured. And here you have the table, you want to recognize the table, and in the end, to get the text and export that into a spreadsheet. It's the same, so it's very similar to fields model, but in this case, you don't have the text, but you have the table structure. And also here, you need to train a model to do that for you in Transkribus. Here there are two examples. We did a project with Library and Archives Canada to extract information from two finding aids because they are moving to a new place where those finding aids won't be that much accessible. So they wanted to have them in a digitized form, also to make all the users access them. And one of those finding aids was this index. It's called it's a subject index. So there are subjects taken from newspapers, and they have 133,000 of these index cards. And they wanted to extract those information, like the subject, the title of the newspaper, of the article, the newspaper, the data, and the pagination. And we use a field model to do that. And the same for another type of funding aids. It's called Order in Council. It's a table with summaries of minutes. And so this is an example. And then we are also exploring a different approach to extract information from documents. So the limit of fields and tables models is that the information needs to be, the layout needs to have some meaning. So the information needs to be placed on the page. The information needs always to be in the same position. But not all the documents have this structure. So now we are working, especially with projects, but we also want to make this technology available in the platform. We are working with smart extract models, so to take the information on whichever position it is on the page. And we did a project with the Museum for Naturkunde in Berlin. They have these specimen labels. So they have the specimens of insects in their collection. And with each insect, there is a very small label with the information about who found it, where, and when, and also the name of the insect. And they vary a lot in terms of layout. Some are printed, typewritten, other typewritten, other handwritten. So it was a very heterogeneous collection. And in this case, the classical approach with field model failed. So we talked about this different approach with smart extract models to extract the information. And on the top of it, we also did name entity recognition, and we linked the names to a GeoNames database because they wanted to know where those specimens were found. And to collaborate, as I said, it's also possible to collaborate within Transkribus. So you can create your collection and then share the collection with other members. So you can send invites, and you don't need to have a team or an org plan to do that. So even if you are in the free plan, you can invite others to collaborate with you. It works similar to Google Drive, where you can send invites. And you can also give them different roles. So, for example, if you are the person managing the project, you are the owner, and then you want students just to transcribe, but they want them to be able to delete a document, for example. So you can assign them the transcriber role. In the editor, it's also, so when you transcribe or correct transcription, it's also possible to add comments. So you can interact with the people you are working with. And you can share models. So you can share models with other members of Transkribus, or you can make your model public. So if it's public with all the users, and you can decide if you want to make the dataset private or public. Both are fine for us. Or you can share a model just with some users. And then you can share the credits if you have credits and if you are in a orga or team plan. And here an example of collaboration. This is a project called Trugenschein. They wanted to cross-source the transcription of 2,600 love letters written by two lovers in Germany during the Second World War. And they started doing it manually. And then they understood that it was very difficult to achieve the transcription of all the letters. So they engage senior citizens and students learning German to transcribe those letters, and they train them to use Transkribus. So they started working within Transkribus, and then they train 3 models. So you can see the models here to read, to automatically transcribe those letters. And yeah, we are close to the end. Then we have Transkribus sites. If you want, so the advantage of Transkribus site is that you can directly publish your transcription and images from Transkribus to an online website. So you don't need to download the transcription and publish them into your own environment. And the nice thing is that you have this side-by-side view, so there is always the link between the line in the image and the line in the text. So if a user click on a line, it can directly see the highlighted text on the side. So this link is preserved, which is something that you can also do when you have the page XML and the auto XML. You can also do that into your own environment, into your viewer, but maybe it needs some adaptation to develop that. And here we have an example of the St. Gallen archives in Switzerland, and they wanted to publish the council minutes. They have more than 200,000 pages, and they use Transkribus site to make them searchable. So they first transcribe that with Transkribus, and then they publish that into the Transkribus site. And yeah, each Transkribus site has its own URL, so it's unique to you, and you can also customize the colors, the logo, the web page, the images. And yeah, here is how it appears. So the page of one document, and you can also search through your documents and also enable the FACIS search, which means that in this case, I search the word butter, and it results in I got 72 search results. And with the FACIS search, you can decide, okay, I want just to find the word backer, or I want to find also words that differs by 1 or 2 characters from backer, which means that even if the automatic transcription isn't perfect, you will still find the correct word. And here is when you click on a search result, you have this view, so you can jump from one result to the other, or you can jump, or you can move inside the document to read the following page. So you have both options. And yeah, that's all. And if you have any questions, I'm here also later.
Thank you very much, Sara.